not all three of them is being shown. The second phase of this type of project to receive MnDOT funding is to apply for a grant that would help to actually pay for the improvements. And so what we're asking is for the council to approve us using CETA to do the grant application for the infrastructure project. These grants may not necessarily be 100% funded. It depends on how many that the state wants to do. So council just needs to be prepared at some point to take a look at having to provide some monetary support to the project. But we'll know that once the grant gets submitted and if there's approval. We did ask for a couple of quotes, and this is by far the most inexpensive route. They've got experience submitting these grants, and they've been successful. So Chuck and I both felt that this would be a good way to move forward with the project. Try to get the money to start installing these trails.
So the cost of the city to get CETA is how much?
$750 would be half of the $1,500 application. School district is going to be asked to do the other half.
Okay.
And then what that would do is an engineering firm would be hired with that grant money. They would do the project design work and then would go through and actually construct the project using MnDOT money. But again, as I said, it's not always 100% funded by the grant for the infrastructure. So there may be that the city and school would have to kick some money in to finish the project. But we'll know that once the application is submitted and accepted. Step one is what we're asking for, which is to submit the grant.
So would there be cement laid down on the levee top?
Asphalt.
Asphalt, and then same thing alongside the football field?
They would all be asphalt trails.
Likewise with the, down the cornfield?
Correct.
That would butt up close to the backyards of these people that live there.
Yes, it would.
There shouldn't be any difficulty there.
There's quite an elevation change.
Oh, yeah.
The main question is if we do lighting, but I think we can angle the lights and use LEDs in a way that it minimizes any light pollution that would throw back onto the houses. And that's, again, this is just a drawing. That trail might actually snake up through where the pine trees are. The current plan for the school is to have 2 baseball or softball fields in that cornfield, so it can't go right up through the middle of it.
So wasn't this here done a couple years ago on the dike, on the levee part of the dike? On Highway 43?
Was what done?
Applied for a grant for sidewalk or whatever on top of the grant?
No.
Dike?
We received a grant to do the plans, and that's what we spent almost 2 years doing.
So
Where we talked to, we interviewed people, we did surveys, and that was one of the corridors that was identified as being a need. Because the trail just goes down to the tennis courts, people are saying there ought to be one on top of the levee.
well, for safety reasons too.
Correct.
Move to approve the proposal from CETA.
Second it.
Motion by Mr. Dahl, seconded by Mr. Hansi. Any questions or comments?
Does the motion need to incorporate the split, the cost sharing split?
It
Or is
won't,
that,
we won't exceed
Deferred.
$750. So if the school district were to decline to participate, then we'd have to come back with something else. What we'd probably do is remove the school's trail and apply just for the city's portion. along Highway 43 and a couple of crossings. But we'd take that back to the planning commission.
So the school has or has not committed to sharing half the cost of?
Not
of the
officially.
proposal? Not officially yet, okay,
The superintendent is gonna take it to this next school board meeting.
okay. Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes, thank you. Move on to 8D, consideration of accepting the recommendation of the Electric Utility Commission to initiate a moratorium for up to 1 year on the interconnection process for distributed generation systems with the Rushford Municipal Utility System. Prior to private solar or wind generation connecting to the city's electrical system, state standards must be followed, interconnection policies and permitting must be implemented, zoning requirement language must be determined, technical requirements for interconnection and metering must be determined, and tariffs and fees must be implemented. The city's wholesale provider, Tri-County Electric Cooperative, will help provide guidance and expertise during the process of developing these policies and procedures. The council will receive the above policies and standards for review and approval as they are developed.
Your Honor, normally don't like to ask for moratorium on such things, but this is a very complex issue that we have been confronted with. Basically what's happening is distributed generation, whether it's solar panels on people's homes or wind generators, people are buying them with the intention to generate electricity for their own use, but then also to sell back on the grid. And the policies and procedures for allowing that are very intricate. We spent 3 hours
A long time.
talking to Tri-County representatives about just what's needed to get this accomplished. I believe we can
That's
do.
EDA time there, Mark.
You just kind of get double duty. I don't think it'll take anywhere near a year, but typically the advice that I've always been given is ask for a year and come out of it early rather than ask for less and try to get more time. Right at the end of this lengthy discussion that we had, the question was posed to Tri-County if they would be willing to basically manage our program, and they said that they would be open to that sort of a discussion. It's probably the route that we would take, but there's still many zoning issues that we need to go through and make sure are clear. Just a question, for instance, of if someone puts a panel on their roof and someone else's tree grows up and starts to shade it, the law says that tree can be removed. So we have to make a lot of decisions and recommendations about how we're gonna cite these things. And then just how they interconnect and what the fees structure is gonna look like. A lot of it is guided by state law, but some of it is left in the hands of the local municipal, and we wanna make sure that we do this thing the right way.